I'm making whipped shea butter, and like I'm making this whipped shea butter and coconut cream for your hands and your hair. And I needed these bottles, and these containers, and I got the wrong size. So I had these that I'm not gonna use anymore. So I'm just gonna take the stuff out of here and use these empty containers. And then tomorrow I'm gonna melt my shea butter with some coconut oil and mix it with some castor oil. Melt that together, cool it down, and then whip it. That's the plan. We're gonna see what happens. Alright, so I emptied out everything, dumped it out, I used a little scooper. Now I'm using my paper towels to get all the oil out, and then I'm gonna sit them in some sudsy Dawn with bleach. I'm taking the labels off too. I'm so excited because I really could not find what I wanted on Amazon, so I like to repurpose stuff. It saves me money. It makes me feel like a better human being because I'm not adding a more, like, what they call it? A green footprint, an eco footprint. I don't know.
I didn't think this was going to work. That's why I didn't do it.
I told you last time, though.
This ain't the girl's,
But I told you that before.
Scrub daddy.
Scrub daddies were an unnecessary flex. I used to think I was really that girl using them scrub daddies, and I started replacing them with those little $1 scrubbies, the silver joints. Yeah, and it cleans so much better, and I save a lot of money. No, it hasn't. I'm not saying that it can't. I'm just saying it hasn't. And how would you know? You barely wash dishes, so I don't even know what you're talking about.
Don't need to be manifested.
As usual.
It doesn't. I'm not gonna lie.
So I have those little containers soaking in some bleach and dish Dawn. Like I said, I was fine too. And then I'm still gonna keep these. I'm gonna give one of them to my son. So I will see you tomorrow when we melt our shea butter and our coconut oil. And I read so many articles about how long to keep the mixture cool and ideas of how long to whip it. I think I might need to beat it for up to 8 minutes for it to get whipped. And if I use the right amount of coconut oil and I don't use too much, it should maintain that consistency.
Not too bad.
Okay, so it's the next day and we are ready to melt our shea butter and our coconut oil. So I'm gonna use the double boiler method. I wasn't going to, I was gonna be lazy. You can put it just right directly in your pots, but I've got meat cookers in here and I don't want any kind of food fat oils from the animal skin into our natural hair products. So I'm gonna put a bunch of water in here. We're gonna boil that. Then I'm gonna put the shea butter and the coconut oil in here, sit it on top, let it melt. That should take about 15 to 20 minutes. We just wanna melt it so it can meld. And then we're gonna put it in the fridge so it can cool for about an hour and a half, 2 hours. Then we're gonna beat it and we should have whipped shea butter. We should. Okay, so the recipe calls for 75% shea butter, 25% coconut oil. I believe that's 3 to 1. I'm not sure, but that's what I'm about to do. I'm not gonna hold you. This is not a 75-25 split, but here's the issue. Coconut oil, when it warms, is gonna get runny. It's cool in here. I say it's about 65 degrees, and my coconut oil is solid. But once this gets warm, it's going to change consistency, and this is about a whipped body butter. I don't want it to get too runny. And people add arrowroot, which I don't have right now. So I'm gonna try it without the arrowroot because this recipe actually didn't even call for arrowroot. But some people in the comments were saying that it didn't. Some people were saying that it didn't say solid, but they used more coconut oil. So I'm actually gonna use less coconut oil, and we'll just see what happens. It's not the end of the world. It's still gonna be shea butter. I'll tell you one thing though. I'm glad that I had this big old hefty stainless steel spoon because that shea butter, I left it out and I left it near the heater so that it wouldn't be so solid, but that shea butter can get solid. And that's the whole reason I'm making this to begin with, because I use shea butter and castor oil as a leave-in conditioner for my hair, and I also use it as a moisturizer for my face and my feet. I use oil on the rest of my body, usually avocado or grapeseed oil or a mix of that. But who wants to stand there in the wintertime melting shea butter in your hand to put through your hair? So I figure if I make a whipped body butter and use this coconut oil to kind of soften up the thickness and the density of that shea butter and whip it, it'll be more usable. You know what I'm saying? Plus, it's cute. Who don't want whipped shea butter? Like, Okay, this is gonna boil. And I'm gonna sit this on here so we make the double boiler effect. This is how I'm gonna end up making my candles too, but I'm gonna get a whole separate setup for that. Okay, so I'm gonna sit here. All right, let's put this on medium. And then we'll check it in about 10 minutes. I'm gonna put a timer on. No, I thought about it. I added more coconut oil. Because I feel like this is gonna be way too thick if I don't. See? So that's what I have now. All right. It's not even been 10 minutes yet. I don't even think the water is actually boiling. It's just warm. Yeah, and it's melting like that. It's looking good. It's dark. Okay. Won't be long now. I was coming in here to turn the temperature up, but I'm going to leave it the way it is. Yeah, but your first mind, always go with your first mind. I cannot stand when I second guess myself, and I was originally correct, and then I second guess myself and end up being wrong. That's so frustrating. I've done that since childhood. If you don't trust yourself, at least trust nature and your DNA, because that intuition comes from the never-ending wealth of information that is life. You know what I'm saying? Spirit put all the answers. I know you see this. Okay, so this is why I taped my ceiling. When there's storms, that right there, that flap of ceiling moves around. And I don't want something coming through my ceiling because I hear stuff running up there sometimes. So, I believe I was having a manic episode that evening. And I started taping the ceiling because when I moved here, roaches were crawling through the ceiling, and I didn't want animals coming through my ceiling. So I taped it, and that was the only tape I had. And now I'm afraid to take it down. But like I was saying, that never-ending wealth of information that's inside of us, all of that information from people that lived before us that share our bloodline, that information is passed down through our DNA and in our blood. So those whisperings, those knowings, when you just know the answer, even though you're like, wait a minute, I haven't studied the subject, why do I know this? You're remembering things that are being, information that's encoded in your DNA. So that's why when you have a question about something, if you sit still and get away from distractions, take a breath and just be still and silent, your inner knowing will tell you what the answer is. So there really is no need to doubt yourself. The only reason you doubt yourself is because other people have taught you and trained you to doubt yourself. I.e., when you tell somebody a great idea or thought you have and their response is negative, after a while, you start to believe that maybe you don't have the ability to do these things, and it's just not true. It's just programming. Reprogram yourself back to believing in yourself. You have the answers. You have the ability to find the answers. Your brain is literally designed to work out problems and to problem solve and to remember information and to help you apply it so you can evolve. You feel me? Don't doubt yourself. You are able. Beautiful sky. What's up, Rob? So beautiful. I'm so grateful to be here. Now it's boiling. I can hear the water boiling. That's oddly shaped. This little piece left. I made a spot to put it in here because it has to cool, and I don't want anything. I just don't want to just stick it in here hot, so I'm just gonna put it on the cutting board. This is a bamboo cutting board. I got these from Amazon. I get everything from Amazon. I probably got my daggone self from Amazon at this point. Okay, there's still a couple more pieces that need to melt, but I'm gonna turn this heat off because I don't want to cook my oil. I'm just melting it. So I'm gonna turn it off so the water stops boiling, but it's hot, it's still melting. You hear the water boiling? I've noticed I say words oddly. I don't care. It is what it is. Just a friendly observation about myself. Okay, so we just have these two little pieces left. Oh, I wonder if I cover it. Ooh, it smells good. It smells strong. Almost done. Okay. Oh, this is hot, Lord. I had to go back and get the big cutting board. This sucker is hot. I don't know why I didn't factor that in. Okay, I'm gonna put the timer on for 2 hours and then we'll be back. Okay, we're 2 minutes away from 2 hours and I just checked on it. This is what it looks like. This is what it looks like. This is what it looks like. I feel like it's perfect. All right, let's go get our hand mixer. All right, I got the hand mixer. I had to go suit up because I don't want to mess up my clothes. I'm excited. Let's do it. This is what we're left with. Let me get this out. Show you the texture. It's the, wow, I mean, it's the exact texture that I wanted. What's throwing me off is the color. Next time I'm definitely going to use white shea butter. They both have benefits, the yellow and the white, but just for aesthetic reasons, I would prefer to use the white. But I'm really, really happy with the texture of this. This is going to be a leave-in conditioner and also a moisturizer for your face. I'm so happy. So now I'm drying out my containers that I'm repurposing. I looked everywhere on Amazon for these and I couldn't find them. And as usual, what I needed, I already had. In that life, what you looking for, you already have. I'm so happy. Look at that. So now I'm gonna fill them up. I ain't beefing with a lame. I ain't beefing with a dork. That's a broke sport. No beef over here. Because my time is expensive. I'm so proud of us. Look at us. Setting goals and accomplishing them. I used to be a great goal setter. But I would never be able to focus long enough to finish my projects. And I'm just so grateful that I can manage my mental health in a way where I can set a goal and accomplish it. I was inspired to do that by my children because every time they set out to do something, they would actually put the action behind it to do it. And to be able to see that and be influenced in that way, I was then able to do it myself. Sometimes it's hard to become something you've never seen. You know what I'm saying? It's like, how can you be expected to have a healthy relationship if you've never seen one? How can you speak correctly if you've never been spoken to correctly? I.e., if you've only ever been disrespected or talked down to, how can you expect to grow as a loving, respectful person? You need to be around things that you want to become. You need to be able to see it so you know that it's possible. Just like, low-key, I had to see somebody else make homemade products for me to understand that I had the ability to do it. And that's why it's so important for me to show my life and what I go through to the world, because all the images that I see of people that look like me don't have a lot of positivity connected to it. And I want to be able to be in charge of my own story, because not all people live the way you think they live based off of how they look. I wanted to show you what I did before I put the top on it. I am so happy, and there's one for everybody. Yay! Thank you so much for joining me in Fury World today. I was motivated to make my own hair and body products because the products that are sold in the stores don't work for me. And I want to be able to control what is going in and on my body. And the best way to do that is to make things yourself. I'm really happy about this. We repurposed the containers, so we saved money there. We bought the shea butter in bulk. We learned a new skill. And now, something that was once an idea is now in my hand. We did it. You can do anything. You can make the life that you want. I love you. I'll catch you in the next episode of Fury World.